Joining me, Jack Burkman, Republican strategist, K Street lobbyist, and host of Behind the Curtain, Saturday mornings at 10 on Newsmax TV. Also, Richard Fowler, Democratic strategist and host of the nationally syndicated Richard Fowler Show. Download his podcast at fowlershow.com. For months, Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio tried to tear down each other in a bid to become Donald Trump's chief challenger. At the latest Republican debate, that changed.
Count to 10, Donald. Count to 10.
And he's asking us to make him the president of the United States of America.
I know
this is not a game.
Donald Trump has written checks to Hillary Clinton not once, not twice, not 3 times, 10 times. Donald Trump in 2008 wrote 4 checks to elect Hillary Clinton as president.
He has spent a career of convincing Americans that he's something that he's not in exchange for their money. Now he's trying to do the same in exchange for their country.
This debate was nasty, punctuated by insults and attacks. But at this point, does it really matter? Donald Trump has a loyal following and a delegate lead. Jack?
Well, more some news today. I am now prepared to endorse the Donald. I endorsed him on my show. I'll give you an endorsement here. I endorse Donald Trump. I think he's a wonderful leader. I admired him last night. I thought it was his best debate performance. He held up against all the attacks. He had specifics. They asked him what you want to cut. He outlined the EPA and DOT and other things. I mean, Chris Wallace followed up with a chart, but it didn't matter. I thought he handled the video. Megyn Kelly hit him with 4 videos. He responded only to one of them, which is what you should do.
Well, because you forget, you know, there were so many. That was not really good for Fox, because after it's like multiple questions during a presidential news conference, you tend to forget what those third and fourth questions are.
They've never done anything like this. I think Trump has been attacked more than any candidate in U.S. Presidential debate history. And of course, the highlight of the debate was little Marco, because calling him, Trump is a master of television. He knows what bothers Rubio. Let's face it, his height.
Richard, are you willing to endorse Trump just to get Hillary elected?
Never.
Okay.
Not a cold day in hell. But I will give the Donald credit that I think what he has done has been rather artful. I think of the whole entire week, and every week there's something new with Donald Trump, but I think to all the politicos out there, to all of us who follow campaigns, who work campaigns, who do this work every day, holding a press conference the night of on Super Tuesday, it was one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen a candidate do. Because what you really do is you box out all the other candidates, right? Because you take as many questions from the press as possible.
You're right.
The press will never go shift to another candidate when you're taking their questions. So because he spoke for an hour and a half for his, victory speech or victory press conference, Ted Cruz hit the stage just around about 11:30 when most folks were sleeping. Impressive move by Donald Trump.
I agree with Richard. Today we have agreement. I agree with 100% of that. What I would say is that Trump continues the basic strategy, what I call preemption. And he started this.
Slash and burn is what I call it.
Slash and burn. It's preemption. He preempts. Yeah. He takes all the oxygen such that the other candidates cannot get any media oxygen.
Right.
All right, let's talk about the GOP establishment. It really took Trump to task, including Mitt Romney.
Here's what I know. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. He's playing the members of the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat. His domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president.
And if Jack is right and Trump is a lock for the nomination, the GOP is shooting itself in the foot. Richard, they're doing your job for you. That's what I keep saying.
They really are. I think what Trump has shown once again is that he's like Jack said, he's a master manipulator. He's learned how to manipulate the media. He's basically pissed off the Republican establishment, both the old establishment and the new Tea Party establishment, and he's running his own race on his own highway, and nobody has been able to sort of
Well, let me ask you this,
boat.
Jack, this is for you. Donald Trump has also pulled out of CPAC. That's the breaking news, the Conservative Political Action Conference, opting to campaign in Kansas and Florida instead. Good move, Jack?
I actually think it is a good move. There's no real press in it. He'll get more press from pulling out than being in it. If he were in it, Morris, it would just be another speech. I think once again, it's this strategy of preemption, sucking all the media oxygen out of the air. I will say with Romney, going back to Romney for a second, I didn't agree with the speech, but I thought it was the best speech and maybe the only good speech Mitt Romney ever gave. I wish he was that poignant and eloquent.
And a day late, Jack.
A speaker 4 years ago. A day late, $1 short. I think Romney is a kind of megalomaniac who's desperate to get attention.
I tend to agree with that, and I think what he's going to do, and everybody knows CPAC, which is the big conservative convention that happens in Washington, D.C., gets all the press this weekend. Tomorrow, which many of the Republican candidates will be speaking at CPAC, they will all lose press to Donald Trump. And I guarantee you, if the Donald's smart, and I'm pretty sure he is, he will make sure his rallies overlay the Rubio speech and overlay the Cruz speech so the press will cover him
That's an excellent
and not
point.
them.
Right.
Excellent point.
That's true. All right, we've seen a lot of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie this week. He endorsed Trump, joined him on the stump and the stage, as you'll see, and took a beating by the New Jersey press. Local newspapers want him to step down.
No, I wasn't being held hostage. No, I wasn't sitting up there thinking, oh my God, what have I done? I was standing up there, supporting the person who I believe is the best person to beat Hillary Clinton of the remaining Republican candidates, and it's why I endorsed them.
All right, so he's referring to that awkward moment during a Trump speech where he was just standing in the background. What do you make of this, Richard? Should he step down?
No, I don't think. I mean, here's the thing. I think he's proven that he's a failed governor. What he chooses to do now is up to him. I mean, his political career is almost a day for being over. Praise the Lord. I'm pretty sure the people in New Jersey are getting ready to launch confetti balls over the governor's mansion, so he can stay in as long as he wants, right? Because he's gone anyway. But once again, this proves that Donald Trump has just really been able to completely take hold of the Republican Party and hold them hostage in their own
Well, a couple
primary
things.
election.
New Jersey's economy is a lot better than it was in 2009 when Chris Christie came in.
I'm sorry.
So I think he's a very successful governor.
Listen, Jack, I got to tell you, I disagree with you 100%. If you go to Atlantic City and see it, it's a hollowed mass of what it used to be.
Yeah,
and there's everything to do with
Atlantic
Chris Christie
City
not
is
being
one
there
example.
and governing a state.
Go up north to places like Trenton. Anyway, we're not going to get into that, but I'll tell you, Morris, I think it's a very smart move by Christie. He picks a winner. In Christie's mind, and I don't think he can be, but in Chris Christie's mind, he thinks he's going to be on the ticket. He knows by endorsing the others, that would only knock him out with Trump. They can't win. Trump can. It's a very smart move.
Christie has nowhere else to go at this point, too, I feel.
Yes.
All right, meanwhile, Hillary Clinton continues to gain confidence and momentum on the campaign trail. She wants to hold as many as she's holding as much as she sees as insurmountable lead in the delegate count. So is the race over for her, Jack?
Oh, I think so. I don't think there's much of a race. I think Sanders had to score on Super Tuesday. I think he couldn't. Sanders is it's a complete failure to attract any minority support within the Democratic Party. But I tip my cap to Bernie Sanders. I think he's run a marvelous campaign. For a man of his age to do what he did, he's almost playing the role of Bobby Kennedy. And I would analogize this year to 68. I hope nobody gets shot. But this is very much like 68. I think you have Bernie playing the role of Bobby Kennedy. I think you have Trump playing the role of Richard Nixon, talking about the silent majority. I think the analogy works.
Richard, you're the Democratic strategist. Have you been happy what you've seen among these two?
Well, here's Bernie's job was a couple things. One, I think he's built an impressive movement. There are tons and millions of Americans who are, quote unquote, feeling the burn. And I think what he's also done is he's been able to push Hillary Clinton to the left on a lot of issues that hold tried and true to progressives, whether it be fixing the student loan debt crisis we have in this country, whether it be making college more affordable, whether it be fixing our broken healthcare system with the Affordable Care Act was just one step in the right direction. What Bernie's been able to do is really hold Clinton accountable, and you've seen her become a better candidate because of it.
The way it would work with Bernie, Richard, I think you know this, is basically you mail in your paycheck and then the government will handle all your bills, and who knows, maybe
no,
that's
not what Bernie Sanders is saying at all, so let's not.
All right, now Clinton continues to be dogged by questions about the private email server she maintained while Secretary of State. The Washington Post first reported that the Justice Department has granted immunity to the staffer who set up that server, so he would be willing to speak with investigators. Is this a smoking gun, Richard, or just more smoke?
No, this is just more smoke. Once again, here's the key thing to remember on this point. The Republicans, people like Jack, the Beltway class in the city, they want to make a scandal. We live off scandal. We love it, right? But the truth of the matter is, if you look at the exit polls and you look at the voter returns from all the states where Hillary Clinton won, the voters care less about emails, transcripts, and what happened in Benghazi, and care more about jobs, public education, and fixing the kitchen table issues.
You're watching a wonderful, Richard's a master eloquent strategist. You're watching an old Clinton tactic, talk about the economy, talk about jobs to divert attention from crime. The real issue here, Morris, is...
What is the issue?
The issue is,
us, Jack.
the political issue is the mind of Barack Obama. Now, Barack Obama, everybody assumes that he won't prosecute, that Loretta Lynch won't move on this. They assume that that won't happen. But remember, Obama hates the Clintons. He hates Bill Clinton for what was done. He hates Hillary Clinton.
Obama hates the Clintons, but fill in the blank, he hired her as Secretary of State.
Let me make you a prediction. Barack Obama may surprise the world and DOJ may move on Hillary Clinton.
That's
You'll
ridiculous.
See.
And we bring in Joe Biden as the savior at the last minute, right? That's the rest of the sentence, I think, Jack. All right, let's switch gears to kitchen table issues. U.S. employers added 242,000 jobs in February. Construction is up, gas prices are down. Politically, I can't help but think this benefits Democrats in the fall. Am I missing something here, Jack?
No, I think you know the economy is a lot better than it was in 2009, but I think the American people are smart. They understand that there was a terrible recession, almost a depression, and now it's better. How could it be anything but better? I mean, Obama has set back the economy by running up the debt. Obama's hurt the economy. Now, politically, will this help? Sure, Hillary Clinton can take credit for the Obama economy. I don't know that that'll be the top issue. I think the Republicans will make health care the top issue. And I also think Donald Trump is very, very good at morphing. He morphed into an extreme conservative. Now you will see the metamorphosis back into being a moderate.
Jack,
and he's going to do that very soon.
Jack, I think that's wishful thinking at best. Clearly, Morris, Jack is writing history on the back of toilet paper. The truth of the matter here is that when President Obama took this economy hold, we were losing jobs, we were bleeding from everywhere. We were a patient that was on life support. What he was able to do is bring this country back from the brink. When he took office, we were almost at 10% unemployment. Now we're at a record low of 4.9%. We created 300,000 jobs, almost 60 consecutive months of job growth. So Republicans and Jack can paint this doom and gloom, but that's just not true. Now, I will give Jack that on the kitchen table, it doesn't seem that way. But slowly but surely, our economy is getting back on track. We've got to continue that, and to do that, we've got to elect a Democrat.
For our 401ks, let's hope it continues. All right, there will be 2 presidents living in Washington, D.C. next year. President Obama says his family will stick around at least until his youngest daughter graduates from high school. Is this welcome news to the next president, Richard?
Yes and no. I think that what happens to the former president, I think Barack Obama will spend a lot of time running his foundation, My Brother's Keeper, and he will probably stay out of the political limelight. I think the family is very tired. Being president, being in the White House is a very tiring place to be. So I think him and the First Lady are looking for some rest and relaxation on January 21st.
Well, if he lives in D.C., Obama will continue to get a lot of attention. And he may or may not want that, I don't know. But one thing is for sure, whoever the next president is may have to compete with Obama for a little bit of attention, because Obama will continue to draw the cameras if he's here. The real question is, will Obama follow the Clinton model, which is heavy engagement, heavy PR, heavy television, or the Bush model, which is to retreat into private life and focus on family and all that? If I had to bet, I would say Obama right now is kind of like George Bush, in that he's very, very exhausted, he's had enough fame, and he's ready to go.
Jack Burkman, Republican strategist, Richard Fowler, Democratic strategist, the best political panel on TV. Thanks to you both.
Thank you, Morris.
Thank you, Morris.
Thank you, Richard.